All right, so here's the question. Is it too late to start a successful SaaS business in 2025? Is the business model way too saturated, or is there still some opportunity here? I want you to stick around for the next few minutes because I'm hoping my story encourages you to get started. Towards the end of 2023, the business model of SMMA had been around for quite some time. I really wanted to start an online business, but I thought that it was too late. But then I realized something. The market wasn't as saturated as I thought it was. And don't get me wrong, yes, there's a ton more people that know about GoHighLevel and the SaaS business model. But I promise you the market is far from saturated because there's a big difference between everyone that knows about GoHighLevel and SaaS and how to start an online business and the millions of ways that it's presented online and the person who's actually going to sit down and do the work to make it happen. So that's the reality check I had. I started and I would stop. I started and I would stop. But I never pushed through long enough to actually see results. So at the beginning of last year, I decided I was going to stick with it no matter what. And it took some time, but that's business. It's not supposed to be easy. So don't think it's too saturated because the number of people that will actually take the time and put in the work to make it successful is way smaller than the person that's looking at the YouTube video just to see how to make money online. So that's what we're going to talk about in this video. I'm going to give you a few tips and tricks to land your first client and have a much quicker start than what I did. But again, that doesn't mean it's not going to take hard work. So listen up and let's get started. All right, first things first, just so you know I'm not a fraud, I'm going to post some payments right here that I've received from Stripe, just so you know I've actually done this and have seen success doing it. All right, so let's rewind back all the way to the end of 2023 to the start of 2024. And I was struggling to land my first client. I was trying a lot of cold emails, a lot of cold calls, and I just wasn't having a lot of luck. And so this is where tip number one comes in. You probably know someone, or you probably have a family or a friend that knows someone that can help you land your first client. And this is what you have to realize going into it, is you are not a professional. Maybe you do have some experience under your belt, and if that's true, great. But if you're just barely getting started with the SaaS business model, you shouldn't expect someone to pay you buku bucks when you don't really know what you're doing. And hopefully that's not too hard of a pill to swallow, but if you needed to hear that, take my advice. Because once I shifted my mindset to being salesy to actually solving a problem, that's when everything changed. So think really hard about your network. Who's someone that owns a business, has a buddy that owns a business? Maybe you have a family member that works for a business. Just think of anyone that can use your types of service and then start reaching out to them. But the thing is you're not going to go to them and say, hey, I'm going to charge you a ton of money to do this. You're going to either have to offer it for really cheap or work for free because they're doing you a favor. They're giving you the ability to go ahead and build a use case that you can then go take to other business owners. So that's what I did when I first started out. Now, my first business model was running Facebook and Instagram ads for businesses. Sounds really unique, right? Well, by implementing this into the first business that I worked for, it made me realize that my offer wasn't all that special, which is my second tip. Make sure that your offer is actually unique. And what I mean by this is if you're looking up online how to make money and you see the same video for the same type of business model 500 times, think about how many people are probably offering that same exact service. So how do you stand out and be unique? So this is where I put my spin on my first business model. I asked the business owner, hey, how many companies reach out to you and offer to run your Facebook and Instagram ads? The answer was hundreds. And then I asked a follow-up question. How many companies reach out to you to run your Facebook and your Instagram ads, but also do all the follow-up to qualify the leads because a lot of them are probably pretty bad and live transfer them to you once they're qualified and ready to actually book an appointment? And the answer was zero. So that's when I discovered a business model that business owners would actually bite on. And just like that, within a month, I went from not being able to sign one business for a period of 3 to 4 months to signing up 7 different clients that were paying me around $1,000 a month each. Now, I've shifted my business model since then and have made my services a lot cheaper. Hopefully this gives you some inspiration on how to land your first client and actually offer a business model that solves a problem, not one that business owner has gotten 500 other emails about. And my third and final tip is build your systems in such a way that takes you out of the nitty-gritty day-to-day processes so you can just focus on scaling your business. When you're first starting out, you can't expect to take a bunch of money home. All the money I made, I would reinvest into hiring more people to follow up on leads. I would put more money into Facebook, into Google ads because I had more money to spend there. And I would pay for softwares to help automate my systems and my processes. So things that would take me hours would now take me minutes and I didn't really have to worry about them. And then that's when things can really start to scale. So to answer the question at the beginning of this video, is the SaaS business model dead? Can you still build a successful business through GoHighLevel? And the answer is Absolutely yes, if you're willing to put in the work. And that's it for today's video. So if you're one of the people that are willing to put in the work, I've actually created a free course. And no, I'm not trying to sell anything whatsoever. You can click the link in my description, put in your name, put in your email, and I'll send it right over to you. In this free course, I actually dive really deep into my step-by-step process on how I scaled my agency and go really deep into how I scaled my outreach, how I landed my first client, my pitch decks, my talk tracks, my email cadences, and everything in between to help you get a faster start than what I had. And finally, if you have not gotten started with GoHighLevel, you can also click the link in my description to get a free trial of the platform. Anyone who signs up using my link, I give them all my automations, my templates, my custom landing pages, and my full onboarding course that I give over to my clients when they sign up so they can get a quick start to the platform and actually stay a long-term client. And that's it for this video today. I hope this helps you out. I hope it gives you some inspiration. If you're willing to put in the work, you can be successful. So feel free to join our free course in our community and let's do this together. And we'll see you in the next video.